I'm going to try and get some breakfast in and a coffee with this as well, because I'm not used to slow days without the bike. But I'm going to go through some history on myself with cycling. I've got my notes, feel pretty professional, and yeah, let's see what we get. Alright, so full name is Daniel Peter Hutchinson. My mum must have liked the Bible, I guess. Daniel Peter. I'm a cyclist, an enthusiast if you will, from the northeast of England. I've been at it for about, let's have a think, 10 years. I've rode bikes since I was a kid. I got into the fixed gear kind of scene around 2012, I think. I was 22, 23, it was kind of the boom, the big exciting, everyone rode a fixie. Still back then what it's called track bikes. Never wanted to be a part of the big generic scene of a shiny mango bike or something. Always wanted something really different. I think the first kind of influences I had was MASH SF, the San Francisco guys, Macaframa, John Cardiel was a pro skateboarder, he rides fixed gear as well. I think from there, I don't know, I had friends who rode, not very seriously, but they let me go out and ride with them, showed me how to skid, and just from there I kind of thought, this is something I can be good at. See, that's the type of brain I have through skateboarding. You start progressing, and once you progress with something, you find culture in something, and then you find like a family. I don't know, strange how it works. But from there, yeah, I just started adventuring further out. Man, I was wearing cut-off jeans, riding probably, I don't know, a couple of 1,000 feet of elevation with strapped on pedals, no brakes, probably a thick slick tyre, whatever they call them. When you think back, it's pretty funny. But yeah, from there I got really serious. Local bike shop helped me out. I shot photographs for them, because it's a talent I've always had, is to take photographs. So I'd do it and trade stock for good photographs, or to help with the websites and all that type of jazz. I want to talk a little bit about the getting into serious cycling. What it comes with is, if you're a daydreamer, I've always been a daydreamer. So when you're a kid growing up, especially in them 2000 days of skateboarding, like, you'd wake up on a Saturday morning and be like, I'm going to go film a Sponsor Me tape. And I'm going to be, on Zero skateboards, and I'm going to be on Vans shoes, or I don't know, DC or whatever. But with cycling, like, it was so freeing and so quick to evolve for me that I actually had this ideal life planned almost through cycling, thinking, yeah, that's it, I'm going to become great at this fixed gear cycling thing. I'm going to move to New York, I'm going to travel with my bike and all that type of jazz, which, I've been out to New York, I've got family out there, I call them family, they're as close as it gets. What got me out to New York was taking it seriously and getting my first kind of sponsors, which was Pariah Cycling. I'm sure all of you have seen that, depends how long you follow me, over the last few years and such. They helped massively in the beginning, and through the time of like racing, the boom of racing as well, especially 2018, 19, just before COVID and all that. Wonderful time, an amazing experience, and I guess I should have been sharper to understand how everything was, but when you're excited and you're taking your first steps into all of this, you kind of jump at the experience and yep, I'll do everything, which is great. But I think as I've got older, I've definitely learned that, to become specific in what you want to do and how you want it to affect those who are watching you in this type of culture. A lot of the things I do now are really, especially with my writing through Substack, or my content through Instagram and such, I want it to be honest and truthful, and like, yeah, riding is amazing, but it also comes with, it's a curse, man. Like, in a sense, you wake up and you gotta go train, or do you want to come out and do this, or do you want to have fun? It's like, cycling's fun to me, and you feel bad maybe for the people around you and such, and it is a heavy thing to partake in, especially if you want to go into the serious realms. For me now, coming into, working with vlogging and such, it's not a new thing. I was vlogging nearly 10 years ago. People don't know that. It's the secret. I was writing 10 years ago. I had like Wix websites and things for my photography. It all kind of became like this giant lifestyle vlog of everything I was doing through the years. Tiring, exhausting, especially, day in, day out, I was creating and doing everything I thought was in the right direction. But I think it was a little bit too early for all it was in like a dead zone. And like now we see every, Tom, Dick and Harry out here vlogging. It's probably why I've returned to it and think, well, you know what, I've got a little bit of experience in this, why don't I try again and see how it pays off. For me now, there's not so much pressure. I work closely with people and brands alike, which gives me a great outlet, which gives me wonderful creative freedom, which is awesome. Luckily the people I work with enjoy what I do. If they didn't, I'd probably be still doing this, just not with all the finer things in life. I'd like to talk a little bit about my racing past and the reality check that I got. So this is more of a, if you're coming into racing or cycling or thinking about it, I'd probably take these on board. Because when you turn up at a race, I don't know, it's beautiful, it's a beautiful scene to be in. Don't get me wrong, racing bikes is amazing, and I wish I was faster. I wish I'd have trained harder when I was younger. I wish, there's a lot of wishes that I should have done. I was too busy drinking, which is fine because, I had 5 or 6 different choices in my life then, which was obviously skating, my music and travelling with bands, with photography, travel in general, and just being a bit of a party animal. So yeah, they're not regrets. Like, I had a great time and I've met a lot of great people through them other outlets in my life. Cycling, which we're talking about, I wish it could have been a lot different. I wish I had, a bit more support where someone had said, you've got a bit of potential, dude, don't ruin it. But, I did my races, Red Hook crits, New York and Milan, Thunder crits in London, Alley Cat races around the country. And I'll probably still try and enter some if I can get past this injury. I love the idea of a bit of gravel racing, that looks wild fun. But I do love the road, I do enjoy TTs. I'm sat staring at my road bike right now, which is filthy, which needs a good clean. But yeah, you've got to be aware of the hard knocks that will come, People can be very aggressive, especially in a life where they are trying to progress, which is completely fine. Like, you've got to understand these things. You can't just rock up and think, people should just let me in and let me feel comfortable. Like, if you're going to be comfortable, you might as well not be doing it. So be aware of like how hardened people are who have already been in the scene for a long time. It's going to take a little while for them to warm up to you. It's going to take them a while to start helping. I mean, I had a few guys who seriously helped me. I mean, I could roll a list off of names, but they wanted to help me because they could see how much I loved it, but also how I'd take it on the chin if they was going to knock me, Let's just have a look at the notes, see where we're at. What held me back during hard times? Alcoholism. Yeah, just having too much of a good time all the time, which was, I don't know, it was part of me, so I'm never going to start regretting over that type of stuff. What else have we got? Stepping into a new lease. Whew. Let me just restart filming this one. So, when I say stepping into a new lease, that basically came from having quite a dramatic downfall last year. I ended up in hospital spewing up blood, pooping blood. Don't want to say bad words really. But yeah, that was a realisation. The people who was around me at the time really helped me and They could have been a rough time if I was alone. So the new lease kind of came from being shocked, really, being thrown into the cold end, the deep end, or however you want to say that. I kind of picked myself. I knew that, I was into cycling, and I knew that I was into being fit and having speed on my side, or all them things that make you feel free and strong. What I didn't know was how much would change if I didn't have that. When I realised I couldn't do it, it drives you insane, which right now I'm looking at being that place again, I guess. You've got, weeks and weeks and weeks of recovery, stretching and eating right, keeping your mind right, drinking water all day long, and it's a place where a lot of people can fall straight back and think, oh, I've been given this and it's shown me this, but it's too hard and I'm suffering. Which, yeah, I suffer every day with it. Especially not to be able to just jump on the bike and do a quick 20 or 30 miles. Struggling to walk. It's taken a lot, especially in this new lease of, the 700 mile challenge before Christmas. I knocked that out of the park. I had a great time. But now I'm unearthing injuries that your body would probably have been able to handle if I'd have known when I was younger how imperative it was to be in such things as yoga, Pilates, strength training, correct nutrition, all of the smaller things that we probably don't learn until it's too late, and then we start jumping on a nutritionalist's back or a coach's back saying, why can't I do this, why can't I do that? Just take your time with the steps and let it bring you to fruition, I guess. Let it bring you to the crescendo of everything that's right, and you will notice the bigger differences. So getting back to my factors of new leases, it's quite a strange one really for me. To feel that I turned everything around, I became clean, sober, hardworking, all my creative outlets are becoming stronger. I'm putting enough time and effort into all of them for me to be able to feel like I'm successful in my own right. I'm not looking to get paid £1 million a day because of success and all that type of thing. I just want to feel content with myself. What I didn't see coming was another recent collision with a car, which has thrown me back to the beginning of that new lease almost from last year in May time, where the body is it's taking its toll again, years of injuries, but not being able to have the correct rest and recovery without injury again. Some of my worries around these injuries and such is basically, will it heal? Or will I be able to get back to a competing strength? Or will I be shadowed by this, a chronic injury rather than an acute injury? The difference is one's there for the rest of your life, permanent, day in, day out kind of pain, which they can manage with tablets and pharmaceuticals, and on my side of things, Pilates and yoga. I don't want to be in a chronic form of injury, that's for sure. I want to try my hardest to work to get back to cycling fully. I feel to do this, I have to be very aware of pushing my mind and my body so far, probably in the next even 6 months to a year. I need to be very aware of that. I need to take care of myself fully, daily, try not to push too far, get the enjoyment from things I'm doing alongside, which will be my writing, photography, covering cycling itself alongside Joe Laverick as we travel and cover races. The best part of that for me is that I'm still going to be able to show you from what I'm lucky enough to see is the ins and outs of a pro cyclist, which everyone's dream, I guess. I wish it was me having to do all the racing and the stretching, the exercising, working out, just becoming this monster, I guess, of can I win one day? Can he win one day? And I'm lucky enough to be there to cover it. Some of the highs and lows that I've experienced up to date, There's most definitely been sponsorships, trips and travel, people I've met, giving me creativity. I feel healthier, look younger, I don't know. And then the lows are, when they are low, they're painfully low. You know, there's days where you struggle to even, you know, contemplate why you're riding a bike anymore, or, oh well, they're covering it like this and look at all the views they get. It's always something that drags you a distraction by looking at other people's work, which, not in an ignorant way, I watch a lot of cyclists work, especially a lot of the good photographers. Some of their work's absolutely impeccable, and I only dream to shoot that well, or hope in the future that I can aspire and get to that level. But yeah, it's always been like where am I going wrong? Like, what? How come they've got this? How come they've done that? How come they've, you know, managed to figure that out before me? And I think that's just a learning curve, and once you can take on that kind of mentality that, well, I'll do it then, and I'm going to do it my way, and by the time I've done it my way, I'm always ahead of the curve. I spoke to Joe about this, and the faster we can get ahead of a curve, especially in the social media way, in the sense of me just shooting content to create a book or to create an actual premiere of a film that I'm, you know, producing, filming, it's all self-done. With social media, you feel like you want to give something back to people so that they can go out there and explore your way of doing something. And I think a lot of people jump on a bandwagon with the easy stuff because it's quick. You get it up the next day and, you know, oh, you've gone viral, or you've got a trend. That's great, but this type of thing to me is not really a game, and it's the longevity of this. Is that one way I have someone's career to cover, that may last up to another 10 years, it might not. And then I've got my own career and aspirations in life to cover. So I don't need the instant kind of value of, yes, we've done amazing and you've got 100,000 followers because of your trends. I want something that's going to last, and someone looks up at their bookshelf in 10 years and says, let's have a look over this book, this is Dan Hutchinson's work, you know? So the highs are always going to be the guaranteed stuff, which is humbling, you know, to be able to put your face on someone else's branding, or to have them say to you, we love the way you work, let's work together. And the lows aren't always lows. They're going to drag you down and you're going to feel a little bit lost. But what you need to do is, kind of accept it, but adapt as fast as you can to show others that you are the one that they should be looking towards, and you can work towards larger creative freedom then. You're not just getting stuck behind the ideals of someone else. I'm going to wrap it up. I wanted to say thanks for people sticking around, because it's not really exciting watching a guy talk in the kitchen. It's more exciting watching me ride bikes in foreign countries, having a laugh with friends, you know, and all that. But I have to keep doing this to keep the creativity going. If you're pretty local, or you can afford to fly me somewhere, which would be great, I'm happy to cover photography, videography, writing. I'm really delving into my writing at the minute. I'm happy to do, you know, YouTube stuff and vlog work, but yeah, if you do fancy it, I'll pop my email below. I'll do that little fancy writing thing. Ta-da! Give us an email, we can have a look and have a chat. If I've got enough room in the schedule, it's open, yeah, we can put some work together, and I can keep adapting this giant portfolio of mine. Thanks guys.